Hey guys, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home, and today I've got more great out-of-print horror to add to my Blu-ray collection. Hey everyone, thanks for coming back to the channel. Today we're going to do another collection update video. I had another really great weekend at thrift stores. I found another out-of-print horror title that's going for not crazy money, but maybe $30 or $40 on eBay. I found it for $3 as well as another title I really needed. And I also have some really cool stuff that I purchased from Shout Factory, Scream Factory. They're kind of one and the same, as well as some review copies from Arrow Video and MVD Entertainment that I want to go through. So some really cool stuff, mostly horror related minus one title. So if you like horror movies, this is going to be a great video for you. Now, if you don't like horror movies, but you like Blu-ray and 4K collecting, home theater stuff, please subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed this video, please like the video and always let me know in the comments what your latest pickups are. I love hearing from you guys and see what you're adding to your collection as well. So with that being said, let's jump right into this video. So first off, I want to cover some of the review copies that I did get in from Arrow Video and MVD. The first one is Deadly Manor, which is another sort of slasher movie. It's a Spanish movie, which is, I really like Spanish horror movies. They're surprisingly right up there with like Japanese and Korean horror and Asian horror. They have some really good stuff. This is a new 2K restoration from original film elements, tons of special features, new interviews, brand new audio commentaries, the original trailers, original promos, all kinds of good stuff in here. And so it's kind of, it was the last horror movie from Jose Ramon Larraz, who did Edge of the Axe and Vampires with a Y. I just did Edge of the Axe in my last video before this, and so Deadly Manor is another one coming out from him. It's just a mono 1.0 audio track, which is pretty standard. They're sticking to the original mono soundtrack, but it is a really nice transfer. It's some really cool horror, and Arrow Video, of course, does an excellent job with American and international horror movies, and this is no exception. Really nice transfer and all-around great package here from them. So next up, we've got more international horror, this time Asian, Japanese horror from Arrow Video. And this is a movie that the American version I consider to be on my list of like guilty pleasure movies, really dumb horror movies, but I kind of love them. And this is the One Missed Call trilogy from Japan, kind of an iconic trilogy of J-horror films. They have high definition presentations here, lossless Japanese audio, master audio 5.1, tons of special features. We've got interviews from the director, Takashi Miike, who also did, what did he do? Oh my God, the killer movie, Ishi the Killer, and he did some other stuff too. I'm blanking. Audition. Wow, I almost blanked on that, but he's one of the best Japanese horror filmmakers. And it also has One Missed Call 2 and One Missed Call Final, which spawned a TV series, and then the American remake, which I've talked about. One Missed Call, I remember seeing that in the movie theaters back in high school. I used to see a movie like every weekend, and this was a Friday night. We'd pick a dumb horror movie, but it was actually like kind of freaky. It's kind of a strange premise. It's all about sort of you get a phone call. It's like The Ring almost, where it's like you watch the video, the creepy girl comes to kill you. This time it's like you get a phone call and the creepy girl comes to kill you. But awesome stuff, super cool package. It looks lenticular, but it's not. It's actually all in one set here. So it has all the different discs, some really cool artwork, and reversible artwork where you can get the original. They have the new Arrow, but also kind of the original Japanese artwork, which is really cool. And they just, Arrow always does an incredible job on these Japanese horror sets. And I'm so excited for it because these are all movies that I would love to have in HD with really great transfers, and like Audition, where that had been out of print for so long, and Arrow Video redid it with an excellent Blu-ray release. They did an awesome job here again with One Missed Call and the whole One Missed Call trilogy. So if you like Japanese horror, I would highly recommend this set. I'm doing a horrible job of putting the artwork back in. So if you like Japanese horror, another great entry here from Arrow Video with the One Missed Call trilogy. Really excited to add this to the collection. Definitely excited to check out the Japanese versions because I'd only seen the American version, and I'm always excited to see the originals. I think that they're always, for the most part, better. The original Ring is closer to the American Ring, but the original Grudge is better than the American Grudge, and I'm hoping One Missed Call is the same way. So awesome stuff from Arrow Video. I appreciate them sending that to me. And then the last one I have is from MVD Entertainment, and they've been doing this MVD Rewind collection for a little bit now with kind of collectible slipcovers. I have a few of them in my collection that are pretty cool, but this one is brand new to me, and I'd never heard of it, and I actually didn't even ask them for it. It just kind of appeared with the horror movies because MVD is the American distributor for Arrow Video, because Arrow Video is a UK company. So MVD handles them, and so they sent this to me, and it is The Point, which is an animated movie from 1970, I think, and it's narrated by Ringo Starr from the Beatles. It looks kind of like, almost like the Smurfs, but also like a little bit like Schoolhouse Rock animation. Kind of crazy 70s, 60s animation in here. Harry Nilsson wrote all the songs and sung all the songs, and this is a new 2K HD transfer from the original 16 millimeter film elements. It's got new surround sound tracks, and it's got all kinds of special features, as well as this collectible slipcover. So it actually has some interesting stuff in the back. Due to the unknown whereabouts of some negative elements, The Point was scanned in 2K from a 16 millimeter release print. While performing shot-by-shot color grading, it became apparent the condition of the elements made a complete restoration unfeasible. Thousands of individual pieces of damage were removed entirely, but some slight imperfections will still appear in the film. So they spent a lot of time on this, and I'm surprised because I've never heard of it. Maybe this is a big movie back in the day. It's about a 75-minute long animated movie, and kind of this action fantasy on the land of The Point, narrated by a Beatle with a really famous, musician behind the song. So maybe it was a big deal back in the day. I'd never heard of it, but it's a really cool movie to add to the collection. Now, before we jump into that awesome out-of-print Blu-ray I have two that I picked up from Shout Factory. I actually got these both from Bull Moose. If you're ever looking for good prices on Shout Factory or Scream Factory collector's editions, or any of the Arrow Video stuff, any of that really niche stuff, Bull Moose usually has really good deals. I found both of these movies. They're both brand new, and I got them both for $3 cheaper at Bull Moose than Amazon offered. And then I picked up my Bloody Valentine collector's edition, which will be here shortly, for much cheaper than Amazon as well. So really good deals. But the first one is The House That Jack Built. This is from IFC Midnight and Scream Factory, Shout Factory. This is a Lars von Trier film, notoriously banned in quite a few countries. It's Matt Dillon stars in it, Uma Thurman's in it. It's a very, realistic, grisly, gory kind of depiction of a serial killer and how he kind of goes about his crimes. If you know Lars von Trier, you know that he's not holding back on much. He did the movie Antichrist, amongst others, and so it is supposed to be really kind of pushes the edges of what's available or what's able to be shown in theaters. It has the R-rated cut, which was shown in theaters in the US, but it also has the unrated director's cut, which according to this, whoa, what a catch. According to this, is only 1 minute longer, but there must be something in that 1 minute that made it not able to be released in theaters. So I'm going to watch that unrated director's cut, see what I think about that. And then I also got a movie. This is just from Shout Factory, and it is The Nightingale. Now, this is from Jennifer Kent. She was the writer and director of The Babadook, which is a great horror movie if you haven't seen that. Also put out by Shout Factory and Scream Factory. And this is her follow-up movie. It was at the Boston Film Festival this year, and I didn't get a chance to go to that screening because it was very late at night on one of the days that I was heading home. I live a little bit further away from the city, so I couldn't get there. But I knew I had to get this when it came out on Blu-ray. Bull Moose had a great deal on it, and it's really a violent revenge story. It's not so much horror, but basically it's in 1820s Australia. There's this girl, she's been a convicted convict and having issues with lieutenant who kind of oversees this convict camp, and they have an incident which is pretty violent and pretty disturbing. And basically she goes on a revenge tour with an Aboriginal tracker to find this guy and, do what she needs to do. So not a horror movie, but sort of a thriller, a very dark thriller. It is by Jennifer Kent, who did The Babadook, so I wanted to check it out and support her movies because I really liked her first one, and so I'm interested to see what this one's all about. But I've heard really good things. I've heard it's incredible, and so I'll be checking that out soon. And now for the last two, I just found these at a thrift store today, and I was super lucky to run into them. So I got Masters of Horror Season 1, Volume 1, and Volume 2. Now, I already had Volume 3 and 4, and so the really cool thing is that they had Volume 3 also at the Goodwill that I was at. They didn't have 4, but if anybody is looking for Volume 3, there's a Goodwill in Danvers, Massachusetts, and you can go pick this thing up on Blu-ray. But I had to grab Volume 1 and 2 because I only had 3 and 4, and these are harder to find. Now, what it is, it's a horror anthology series that came out on Starz, which is one of the premium cable channels in the U.S., kind of like HBO or Cinemax or Showtime. And it was similar to like the VHS movies I talked about in my last video, where we take more famous horror directors in this, and they basically make these short movies, which is, you know, they're not even that short. They're each like 45 to 50 minutes long, if not longer, almost an hour. And so they make like a kind of almost like an hour-long TV episode, I guess you could call it. And that's, you know, what the whole series is about. And they put them out on Blu-ray in different volumes. Now, I had Volume 3 and Volume 4, but Volume 1 and especially 2 are very hard to find. So Volume 1 has Cigarette Burns from John Carpenter. Obviously, you know him, Halloween, The Thing. It has Dreams in the Witch House, which is based on a story by H.P. Lovecraft and directed by Stuart Gordon, who did Reanimator, so another awesome director. And then The Fair-Haired Child from director William Malone, who did House on Haunted Hill. So some real serious horror directors here who did Volume 1. Now, this one is not out of print. You can probably find it for, you know, $10, $12, maybe even a little bit cheaper. I got it for $3. But this next one, Volume 2, for some reason, is the only one that's gone out of print. And so on eBay, it'll be $25 to $30 in the low end, maybe even a little bit higher than that, depending on where you look for it. And I found it for $3 at Goodwill. Now, this one has a story called Jennifer, which is directed by Dario Argento, who did Suspiria. It also has Sick Girl, who is from director Lucky McKee, and it has Dear Woman, which is from John Landis, who did An American Werewolf in London. So again, really serious stuff here, but the big one is the Jennifer. I've heard really good things about that. We have a commentary here from some of the actors, and you know, like I said, these are all roughly an hour long or so, and it's just super cool. Masters of Horror. I'm just super excited to have this whole set. I can throw these on the shelf now, and to find another out of print horror movie. Like, I'm a huge horror movie fan, so when I go looking for stuff out of print movies, I'm always looking for horror movies first. And now in the last month, I found Dawn of the Dead and now Masters of Horror Volume 2. Super hard to find, and I probably saved myself well over $100 by finding these at thrift stores instead of buying them on eBay, which is super cool, and I love that part of hunting for, you know, new titles for the collection. So thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Lots of new titles here. I will leave links to all the stuff from Arrow Video down below, as well as a link to bullmoose.com. You should definitely check out their site if you're ever looking for kind of these niche titles. They seem to have better deals all the time on Scream Factory, on Arrow Video, MVD, you name it, Kino Lorber, even sometimes Criterion, and A24 movies. They always have really good deals on, and you can buy new or used, so there's plenty of options out there. So check them out. I'll leave them down in the description. They're my local video store, so I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I just love their stuff, and I always go there. And then also remember to follow me on Instagram. You can check out links to the Patreon page. I'm not going to push that too hard. That is completely voluntary for anybody who wants to join that. And then there are links down below to different Amazon listings, which help support my channel with a small commission if you click on those. So I appreciate all that. Make sure you subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. Let me know what you guys have picked up recently in the comments, and I will see you soon with more videos.